Next, we're going to be going over SK Assignment 2B. This is lines and symbols. And we're going to use the architectural lettering style that I showed you earlier to master this project. So let's get started. Our next assignment, we're going to try to reproduce this, and we're going to copy it. This is the different types of line types and some symbols that are commonly used in our field in drafting. Also, I find when you copy something, you start to remember it when you have to write it down. Here, this is a great lesson. It's going to give you a little grid on all of the different type of line types. We talked about it in our lecture. The center line, which is a line with a small dash. Object line, which is one solid line. That's another word for solid line. The hidden feature is also another word for dashed lines. This is a dashed line. A break line has a line and it almost looks like a little heartbeat or a Z there. A dimension line is something we use when we put our dimensions, and it has a line with a little slash. A leader line leads people to different directions with an arrow. A section or cut line is often a longer line, 2 dashes. Center line only has the 1 dash. And then we have layouts and guidelines, which are very, very thin and light. So as you look at this, we have our lettering, which is a thicker line, border lines, which are very thick, and then walls in a plan view. This is a wall that's empty. This is different forms of pacheing. That is when you fill in the wall with either a hatch or solid. And that tells you what type of wall it is. Also, we're going to work on a little texture here. Some little grids, a wood grain, maybe a thin little brick. These would be in a thin line. The reason why I want you to do this is not only to practice your architectural lettering, but also to understand the different line types. So you will hang on to this project and be referring to it throughout the semester. Also, we're going to learn a little bit about how to create little symbols. Here's a section symbol. It basically gives us an indication and it points to the thing that we are sectioning. It tells you different information about the drawing. This is called an elevation symbol, and down here is a detail symbol. So we will incorporate these in some of our drawings. So this is going to be a great reference for you. So let's get started, shall we? First, we're going to take one of our pieces of vellum. Remember, our vellum is 11 by 17. So what I've done is I've taken one and I've just kind of torn it or cut it in half. So this will be used for our next assignment. So make sure you secure this and it's even to the parallel bar, and you will be adding your vellum on top. So this will give us a nice line quality. Vellum is not as thin as tracing paper. It's more sturdy, but it sure leaves a more velvety look on your paper. So you want to make sure that you get all the corners secured nicely. And then we will go, I need one more dot here, and then we will make sure that we have all the equipment to make this the right consistency. So let's get that on there. Okay, so you're going to start right below. You don't need to put the verbiage here, but I want to see everything. This will help you practice thick lines, architectural lettering, and also how to do correct different kind of lines. Once again, I'm using a 0.7 pencil and a medium line weight, and I'm going to get started. So basically, with this very thick line here, I may go over it a few times to create a nice thick line. Try to be consistent and flow and smooth. So see how I created a nice thick line. So then you want to make sure that you are going to use your architectural lettering guide right here. You're going to make sure that on all the vertical lines that you're going to create a beautiful straight vertical line, and just take your time and and just do not be in a hurry, and create the best architectural lettering you can. And then, once you're done, you will have a beautiful paper. Now, once you get to different various lines, and I'm going to just erase this too. Well, once you get to these different line types, make sure that you are trying to make them the perfect thickness and thinness. So as you get to the different walls and so forth, try to mimic this the best you can. Once you get to the symbol area, it would be recommended that you use one of your templates. So this circle is a 3/4 of an inch round. So that fits perfectly. So this is that perfect opportunity to use the templates. See? Now, how do you make this little triangle? I like to use just a square. So this square works perfectly right here to create the perfect, I will use this little straight edge to create the perfect little arrow. Now, how do you get it solid underneath? There's a trick to that. Once you are done on filling in all of these different various components, and you want to have a solid area, we call this pochane. Pochane is when you take the drawing and you want to fill something in. Never poche on the top of the drawing. What we do is we take the drawing off and we will actually color in the back area. This way it avoids smearing, and you will lightly, and it will give a nice grade tones when you're done. So this little arrow, you will poche the back by filling it in a nice dark way, very carefully. And we will be doing this with some of our drawings in the walls. And this will give it a nice look. Like I said, never do the front, always do the back. And that's the beauty of this particular thing. And see how it is a nice gray, and you filled it in nicely, and now it's not so smearing. So this is called pochane. So when we're all done, your drawing should look almost exactly like this. Now also, you may want to make sure that when you're doing this, you can make nice little light lines called guidelines to help you keep your lettering nice and straight. So that will help you. I didn't do that here and it's not so straight. But make sure you do this beautiful layout, and at the end you'll have a great drawing that'll look just like this. So as you can see, there are several line types and many symbols, and they're all important, and we'll be using them throughout the semester.